Welcome to Doug In Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. I've got a really good show for you guys. How many people are you willing to disagree with you before you change your mind, before you start conforming to a crowd? And what if everyone's wrong? Welcome to the Quad Club. This is our first of 4 videos. We're going to start with this Bono tweet. This was Bono on Joe Rogan just this week. Bono says 300,000 people have already died from this hard cut of USAID. And Rogan says it was a money laundering operation. And Bono is telling a lie. He doesn't know. In fact, he says that Trump fired the people who knew the codes to get into the food warehouses and that the food was rotting. But how would he know that the food was rotting if they couldn't get into the warehouse because the access codes were hidden? He wouldn't know. And all that food is made for long-term storage. It's not like they're storing fresh fish. And then here's Elon Musk down in the response. He says, he's such a liar / idiot. 0 people have died. Now, Bono has a lot of cultural power simply because he's a rock star. He's kind of like the Bill Gates of rock, where he makes his money in one area and then spends it on all woke garbage on the other. Now, here's Jake Tapper, who is still dealing with his complicity in lying about Trump.
What my co-author Alex Thompson and I came to discover after the election, when we decided, okay, now we can get Democrats to talk to us who wouldn't talk to us before, because if they said anything, there was this threat of, oh, you're going to help Trump get elected. Suddenly, more than 200 of them were willing to talk to us. And the question we had was, we all saw what we saw on debate night in June 2024. How often did that happen before debate night? And what we found out was quite a bit. It happened quite a bit.
He lies even when he's claiming some kind of a confession. We all saw it quite a bit before the debate. We all have been making fun of Biden for 4 years, calling it elder abuse before the debate. We all saw it. So Jake Tapper is hiding behind this. I just found out after Biden lost the election. I went and interviewed 200 sources, and they told us it happened quite a bit before the debate. So why is it that I'm so smart, which I don't believe, and Jake Tapper is so dumb, which I also don't believe? I believe we all have probably the same kind of relative level of ability to see things. And so his explanation of hiding behind blindness, it's still saying, don't get me in trouble for what I did. And we all saw him do it. This is back during the big Obama scandal where Trump said that Obama was spying on him. And Jake Tapper covered for Obama. That is, he said Trump was nuts for saying that his wire was tapped. And then later it proved to be true. Now, Obama has nothing to do with Biden. So why was Jake Tapper just following what everyone said and not doing his investigative journalism then? Watch this.
Welcome to Obama Tapped My Phone Island. Population, President Trump. The White House saying the president has no regrets about his fact-free claim that then-President Obama tapped his phone last year, even though just about everyone else in the city in the know or with the power to investigate the claim says it's not true.
See how he hides behind everyone else. He goes, Trump's alone, island of one. And what do you do, Jake Tapper, when the island of one is right? And then he appeals to crowds. He goes, everyone thinks he's crazy. All the experts disagree with him. He would never address the facts that Trump brought up, which were on Trump's side and against Jake Tapper. I'm just bringing up this pattern of appealing to masses to try and hide your lies.
Or that they've seen nothing that can support the accusation.
Manafort under surveillance. CNN has learned that investigators wiretapped former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort under secret court order, both before and after the 2016 election. And that surveillance continued into this year, including a period when Manafort wasn't working for the campaign, but was known to talk with President Donald Trump.
And what we've been told by sources is that the president and Manafort were still talking early this year, well after the campaign. And it is a time that we've learned the FBI was listening to Manafort's phone calls. So it is possible that those phone conversations were collected during that surveillance as they were listening to them. And the Justice Department has spoken out about this, and they have denied that the president's own lines were wiretapped. But But as we said, it is possible that he was picked up on Manafort surveillance. We should know that Manafort does have a residence in Trump Tower.
Obama tapped my phone island.
This is the Joe Rogan show about Trump being tough, nearly insane tough because of what he was put through. This is about individuals. What do you do when the heat comes on you?
Like, oh, he's a crazy person. I'm like, yeah, that's the only kind of person that would survive what you try to do to him. A perfect person morally falls apart by the time they've been indicted and they've 34 counts, felony counts. Like your whole body's just destroyed by the stress of you possibly going to jail for the rest of your life. You have to be a insane person to ride that out and not look like anything even happened. Then you get shot.
Yeah.
You get up after you got shot. You're bleeding from your ear and you go fight, fight, fight. You got to be a crazy person to get through these. He's a nightmare for anybody that's trying to rig a system. Like, that guy's the nightmare. He's the final boss of you.
And that's why Trump is unique for the task of fixing America. He's the only one. He's a nightmare to people that are trying to protect a system. That's a huge credit to Trump because he is not uniquely not swayed by masses, by culture. You look at his hair and his tie and he's an independent thinker. And America needed him. We needed a guy that was outside the system that could break the system. So all of these people are just giving you reasons why this is why Trump works. Here's Jake Tapper.
I didn't vote for Biden or Trump. I can't stand either party, to be quite honest.
So he just hates everyone. He just hates everyone all the time. So now there's no reason why he wasn't helping Biden in trying to attack Trump. He just hates everyone. And he's just a coward because all he really did was listen to what everyone else said about Trump and said, well, I guess I got to do my part and cover up for Biden, even though I hate both parties.
So that wasn't a bias of mine in terms of shaping my reporting, but like what was shaping my reporting was, I think the fact that like there were just a lot of people lying to us, and I should have just been more skeptical about the fact that they were lying to us. But there were just so many people on the inside, and so many Democratic legislators and so many members of the cabinet and everything that were just completely gaslighting the country.
Oh, and your network. So everyone around him was lying about Biden. And he goes, this is another appeal to the crowd. I think it's amazingly confessional what he's admitting here, that he's a weak beta male who can't think for himself. That's the true problem with Jake Tapper and probably all of news media. This is a confessional. Here's Chuck Todd.
So this is a party that had leadership atrophy, and at the same time, those that were sort of almost behaving like the old Soviet Union,
This is
which
Biden.
is, the leader dies and everybody wants to keep their power and keep their influence. So I do think this scandal should be more laser focused on the Democratic Party. I think the press.
He's hiding the press. He's defending the press by attacking the Democrat Party.
Again, I always look at the criticism of the press here through the person that's making the criticism. And I think in some ways there's almost an eagerness to blame the press without looking at who should be blamed here. And it's the leadership and frankly, the members of the Biden administration and the leadership of the Democratic Party, who they're the ones that lied. Look, at the end of the day, no journalist is as good as their sources. At the end of the day, the Democratic Party lied to the American people. The leadership of the party lied to the American people. And that's where this scandal should be centered.
No, see, he's trying to keep it centered on the Democrat Party and off of media. Here's where he's wrong. Why do they tell so many lies about Trump? Trump's not a liar. Trump's being honest and totally public and totally transparent, and they do nothing but tell lies about him. So they're against his source. And then Joe Biden lies and they go along with his source. Why one and not the other? Because they're still just trying to hide their bias of being Democrat leftists. And that's why they gave Biden a pass, and that's why they attacked Trump. And to Chuck Todd, this is disgusting for him to do. I'm laughing at him, at his face. I think it's hilarious to watch weasels try and lie their way out of something. But Chuck Todd doesn't understand the job of media is to take facts and truths that you find and you pass them out to the public. You're the disseminator and spreader and mass media of information. That's not the Democrat Party's job. The Democrat Party is to be and to do what Democrats do. And Trump's job is to be and do what Republicans do, or conservatives or MAGA or whatever. And then the media's job is to take what they learned and disseminate it out. That's why they have controls of all the mass media tubes that are going out to everyone's computers and everyone's TV. And you failed at your job, at your part of disseminating information. There's supposed to be a filter. There's supposed to be a truth filter, you know what I mean, that takes all the spin out of the politics and then presents, you know, the core facts to you. They failed, probably even bigger than the Democrat Party, which is why their polls are even below the Democrat Party, is the media. Because it's one thing for Biden to lie, or even Trump to lie in defense of their own agenda. The media is not supposed to have skin in the game and agreeing with one side's lies and carrying them on. And that's what they did. They 100% did not filter anything the Democrat Party said. They just carried the lie straight to you and doubled down on it and continued the shaming on you. So this is how bad Jake Tapper and Chuck Todd were. Joe Biden would get lost in his own closet.
But this Secret Service whistleblower actually was assigned to Biden, and he told me that Biden used to get lost in his closet in the mornings in the White House. I mean, the guy literally stumbling around in the White House residence couldn't find his way out of his own closet. The president of the United States. I mean, this is outrageous. We were lied to. And
I'm keeping this scandal going because this needs to be prosecuted. This needs to be investigated, needs to be prosecuted, because too many people lost their smarts on this one. How many times are you allowed to carry a lie for someone? Elon Musk was a super truth teller. Credit to him.
This guy is doing nothing but service. He's getting nothing out of this. That used to be a Democrat. That used to be a public servant. And now a guy who creates Neuralink, creates an internet process for the poor, electric cars, robots, rockets that save astronauts. He's a public servant who's also the richest man. And you guys don't like him. He's exactly what a Democrat used to be, a public servant. But now you only serve yourselves. You're like, what can I get out of this? And if we use identity politics, we can get everybody to declare what they want from somebody else. It becomes an attack over a finite pie when he just wants to expand it. There, I've said enough. I think I can go home early.
What a great defense of him. All he did was be what the Democrats claim to be, which is a public servant. How do you respond? How did Dad respond to peer pressure? You know who I see as kind of my dad's generation? Tom Homan.
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country. I've served my country for 34 years.
I find your comments
this is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years. And yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms in back of that tractor trailer. I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member.
We agree on that.
Fix it. No one in this room has seen what I've seen in my 34-year career.
Very well.
No one has experienced what I've experienced. I've saw many dead bodies coming across this border. And you want to talk about the memo? This memo is one option to stop death. Not just about enforcing the law, stop death. If you want to legalize illegal immigration, good luck with that, because it's going to get a hell of a lot worse on that border. If you say, well, okay, from now on, there'll be no consequence, no deterrence. It's not illegal to come to this country illegally. More families would come. 31% women would be raped. More children would die. We're a nation of laws. If you don't like it, sir, change it. You're the legislator. I'm the executive branch. And I've served my country honorably for 34 years. And I will not sit here and have anybody say that I don't care about children because you're not the same color as my children.
That's how Dad did it. That's how we need to do it. That righteous anger on behalf of women and children in America that are going to be hurt on Democrat policies and their peer pressure, cultural, everyone follow me or I will get you. Forget you. We're here to fight. We're still carrying the torch. Trump is winning. America is winning. And most importantly, me and you, the patriots, the American people, we're going to keep winning, and we're going to keep the liberals' head face down in the poo-poo where it belongs. I'm Doug in Exile. Subscribe.